So something I've noticed recently in my relationships and kind of in the population in general, and with my health coaching clients, is this sort of information overload and this focus on just continuing to get more and more information before taking action. So, for example, let's give you two health coaching client examples. One of them, she was just very obsessed with self development, and in our monthly Zoom calls, I began to question her and ask her, well, what steps are you taking in your life to implement what you're learning in this book? And she was like, well, honestly, I'm not really doing any of it, right? So it just goes to show that, like, we can get the feeling that we're doing something. We can get that hit, if you will, by just reading books, by watching YouTubes, and especially now going on TikTok and Instagram and feeling like, oh, wow, I know all this cool information. And then it deters us even more from actually doing the thing. Then there's like information paralysis too, because you realize like there's a lot of different perspectives and opinions on different topics, right? And it just puts people into like, well, now I don't know which advice I should follow. But humans learn through experience. So you need to take that step and get it done, right? I had another client who she really wouldn't do anything until it was really well like researched. It was like this information fallacy, right? It's like she kept wanting more and more information before she would do something. But as a coach, right? Of course, we're not going to say like, hey, do this thing if it's unsafe, but it's like you are your best research, your experience, you doing the thing that gives you the data and feedback to know if that is something that is helpful to you and beneficial to you, right? So it's like, how much information do you really need to read about the sunlight circadian rhythm versus like having a little bit of information around that and then getting in the morning sunlight every morning for several days straight and seeing how what you do makes you feel, right? So same idea with like people in relationships that I coach. It's like, they're like, well, I read all this stuff about relationships and how to make my relationship better. And it's like, okay, well, what are you doing within your relationship to test out some of these things that you're learning and see what is helpful to you? So what I notice, especially now with the overload of social media, is people are like, wow, I know this, I know that. And they get all these hits and they activate those parts of the brain and it makes them feel like they're doing something. But in real life, they are not actually doing those things, experiencing those things, getting the benefit, therefore, of learning those things, what does and doesn't work. And that also is going to be activating for the brain. But we're just getting so many dopamine hits from every freaking direction right now that then people actually don't feel the need to go out and do the thing and then just get stuck in this vicious cycle. So it's really important, as AI ramps up, all these things, that we continue to actually take action on things. And I'll even say one last example, right, is like the people that like have a trainer, right? Like been a trainer to many people now, or the people that come to the gym to check the box and they don't get the results that they want, right? It's like having that trainer can sometimes be, oh, well, I'm doing something good for yourself, right? But you have to take it that next step further. And when you're with your trainer, or you have to be consistent with your trainer,